You know what? A tax refund delay is starting to seem like an understatement. Some of us have been waiting on our tax refund for 2 months. Some of us have been waiting on our tax refund for 4 months. And then there are those who have been waiting for their tax refund for 6 months to a year. Luckily, the IRS will start sending out higher interest payments for those with a tax refund delay very, very soon. But it's not that simple. There are a few questions we have to answer first, like how to qualify to get paid interest, because there are some rules, how much you can expect to be paid, and when you can expect to be paid. And thank you in advance for liking this video and sharing your thoughts in the comments. By doing so, you help the channel grow and help more taxpayers see this video. So let's dive in. When you don't pay the IRS on time, you get hit with fines and penalties. So you may be wondering, what happens when the IRS doesn't pay you on time? Well, the IRS doesn't really promote this and doesn't really want you to know this one fact about your tax refund, because by law, they have 45 days to process your tax refund. Yep, you heard that right. And here's how it works. The IRS has 45 days after the tax deadline or the date they receive your return, whichever is later, to issue you a tax refund. And when they surpass 45 days and your tax refund is delayed, you are owed interest for every single day the IRS is late. And recently, the IRS has stated that starting July 1st, they will pay 5% for individual tax refund delays and 4% for corporate tax refund delays. So how did they get the 5 and 4% to pay you? The interest rate is calculated by adding 3 percentage points to the federal short-term rate, which changes quarterly. But even at 5%, it's likely not worth the wait or the frustration. You see, the average tax refund is about $3,000. And at 5% interest per year, you only get paid about $154 for a year of delay, or about $12.83 per month. And it may just be me, but I think people would rather have their money on time than get paid a couple $100 at best for it being late. So I want to ask you a question. Are the interest payments worth the wait? Let me know in the comments. And if you do receive an interest payment, it will be taxed. And that's because the IRS views a tax refund delay interest payment as income. So you will get a Form 1099 INT from the IRS, and you will have to pay taxes on that the following year when you file your return. So with that being said, what is the most recent tax refund update? Well, there's still over 12 million unprocessed returns and over 26 million tax returns that still need special attention. And the IRS in January let us know that frankly, tax refunds will be delayed because of staffing shortages and backlogs. And they also reminded us that you shouldn't count on your tax refund by a certain date, especially if you are waiting on your tax refund to pay for bills and major purchases. By the way, I've started a 6-figure business with only $250, and I want to show you how to do the exact same thing. So to join that free webinar, check out the link in the description. I'll see you there. Okay, back to the video. So who is to blame for these tax refund delays? Well, according to the National Taxpayer Advocate, tax refund delays are mainly caused by the process the IRS uses to process paper returns. And that's because IRS employees must manually transcribe all the letters and all of the words within a paper return. And last year, the IRS had over 17 million paper 1040s, over 4 million Form 1040Xs, and millions of paper business returns, which means that every digit and every letter from those paper returns had to be manually typed in. But according to Democrats, the real issue is IRS funding and the fact that the Republicans just keep cutting the budget. Senate Finance Committee Chairman Ron Wyden had this to say in April. If you're frustrated by poor customer customer service from the IRS, you've got years and years of Republican cuts to blame for gutting the agency's ability to meet your expectations. For all the talk about running the government more like a business, Republicans seem to want to turn government into the kind of dysfunctional business that never has a repeat customer. And what do the Republicans say? Well, they believe that increased funding will only lead to increased tax enforcement instead of tax processing. House Ways and Means Republicans had this to say. President Biden's plan to supercharge the IRS with $80 billion in mandatory funding and 87,000 new IRS agents will lead to drastically higher audit rates for all Americans at every income level, according to the Congressional Budget Office. So we know what the National Taxpayer Advocate has to say, we know what the Democrats have to say, and we know what the Republicans have to say. Some others believe that the IRS chairman, Charles Reddick, who was appointed by Trump, should simply resign. Regardless of who is right and who is wrong in this situation, here are a few mistakes that I want you to avoid to make sure you get your tax refund as soon as possible. The first thing is avoiding errors on your return, because another reason your tax refund is delayed is because of errors. Things like mathematical mistakes, forgetting to sign your return or include your social security number on your return, yes, I've seen it all, can all contribute to a delay. And when errors occur, your return has to be manually reviewed. Next up, avoid your direct deposit accounts not matching up. When your bank account information does not match the information on your tax return, your refund is sure to be delayed. Common mistakes I see all the time include ownership of the bank account not matching with the name on your return or the filing status on your return, or simply mistakes in accounting and routing numbers. If this is the case, one of three things will happen. If the mistake does not pass the IRS's validation criteria, you will be issued a paper check instead. If the mistake does pass the IRS's validation criteria, but the bank rejects it, then you will also be sent a paper check. Now, if the mistake is accepted by the bank, then you'll have to go to the bank to try to get your money back. Next up, avoid amending your return. Look, I know there are some cases where you have to amend your return, but amended returns are typically processed as a paper return even if they're filed electronically. And paper returns are the number one type of returns landing up in the pile of unprocessed tax returns because the IRS needs to review them and then transcribe them manually. Unfortunately, amending your return will likely lead to a tax refund delay. Something else you simply want to avoid is identity theft or tax fraud. And that's because the IRS has filters that can detect potential tax fraud. And when the filter does stop a return, refunds can be delayed until you verify your identity. And you do this by giving the IRS's Taxpayer Protection Program unit information about current or previous returns, or by verifying your income via W-2s or 1099s. And sometimes that verification process can take up to a year. Also, avoid discrepancies in income. Look, the IRS receives all 1099s and all W-2s that you receive. And when the information in your return doesn't match up with the W-2s and 1099s that they have, it can cause a delay in your tax refund. In fact, all earned income you receive should be reported on your tax return, even if you don't receive any forms for it. Also, avoid incorrectly claiming dependents. It's quite common that young adults forget to check with their parents when they file their tax returns to see if the parent already claimed them, or two parents simply end up claiming the same child. And when someone takes their own exemption while simultaneously is claimed as a dependent, or when two people claim the same child as a dependent, the IRS will hold a tax refund until an amendment is filed. And then I want you to avoid past returns. When you fail to file previous returns, your tax refund can be delayed until you file those missing returns. Additionally, if taxes are owed, the IRS will likely take your current refund to pay for the past due taxes. Hey, if you found this video helpful, do me a favor and hit that like button for me. It helps others to find this channel and also helps other taxpayers to find this video on YouTube. And subscribe to the channel for more information that helps you save on taxes. I'm going to place a few videos on the screen I think you should watch next. Be sure to check them out. And as always, I'm Karan from Life Accounting, and I'll see you in the next video.